This young man had 7 receiving touchdowns in his rookie season for the Green Bay Packers, all within a span of 4 weeks when he became the fantasy darling of so many. He's getting set for year 2 now in the National Football League. Christian Watson of the Green Bay Packers making his first Rich Eisen Show foray. How you doing, Christian?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Where have I found you? Where are you right now in the middle of March of your first full off season here? Where are you?
I'm down in Tampa, training at House of Athletes with Yo Murphy. It's been treating me well so far, so I'm excited to keep on chopping at it in the off season.
Okay, and so where were you 1 year ago at this time, post combine, and were people knocking on your door? Walk me through what a lot of the soon-to-be rookie receivers in the NFL are going through right now, Christian.
For me, it was hectic. It was crazy during this time. Obviously, getting done with the combine, I was doing my 30 visits, and I think I ended up doing 8 or 9 of those last year. So I was traveling back to back, making sure I could get all those in that little month time span before the draft. It was crazy for me. It was hectic. I was probably on a plane right now, headed to a team to do some interviewing.
Now, did you get a sense that the Packers had you on their radar screen, Christian? Did you get a sense of that?
I did. I had a visit with the Packers, and from the moment I got there, I felt like the vibes were good. The conversation went well, and everything was going smooth, and I could kind of see their interest in me just as a player and as a man, just going through all of the interview process. So I definitely felt that connection there.
So you had an in-person with them in Wisconsin?
I did.
You
yeah.
did. Okay. Who'd you meet with when you were there?
Everybody. The entire coaching staff, the entire special team staff. I met with everybody while I was there.
Okay, you met with everybody while you were there. When was the first time you had a face-to-face with Aaron Rodgers, where you actually saw him and you were in the same room and you were looking eye to eye, Christian? When was the first time for that?
He came through a couple of times. He didn't participate in the OTAs, but I think the first time I saw him, he had come through. It was like right before the mandatory minicamp. He had came in for a day.
Mm-hmm.
He just walked by me and said, "What's good, North Dakota State?" And then I just said, "What's up to him?" I think that was the first interaction I had with him, just him passing through the locker room.
Well, in the whole conversation, when you were drafted, Christian, was getting rookie receivers or getting new blood at that position for Rodgers. That was the whole conversation, to see who could be drafted to help him out because Davante Adams had left. Were you aware of all those conversations about the young receivers and Rodgers at the time? Were you fully cognizant of it, or you were not paying attention to it, Christian?
For me, it was more so kind of just in one ear, out the other. My main goal was just to from ground zero, just build up my relationship with him and just, try to be that outlet for him as much as I could. I heard them, obviously, but it was kind of just in one ear and out the other for me.
Okay. And so what about the early on relationship with Rodgers and you, Christian?
For me, it was kind of just a rocky start in general. Having my little knee cleanup pre-training camp, and not being able to get those reps in with him during training camp. I feel like that was just a little setback for me, because I know, especially for a guy of his experience, getting those reps in and building up that that trust and that confidence in me from him was going to be huge for me, and in terms of starting off hot. I think that was just a little setback for me, but it was kind of just, another step in the road. So I kind of had to take it as it was. But I think as I was able to kind of get more reps with him and get more of that confidence built up with him, I think it was just kind of up from there.
Well, then it certainly started to click when you got back healthy and you started playing, and getting a ton of targets. I guess you could say it started against Dallas, that overtime victory. That was your first career 100-yard game, and then you started following it up, with that 3-touchdown performance with another multiple one the next week. What did click for you? What do you think that was, Christian?
For me, it was that confidence piece. Just knowing that everyone has that confidence in me, and then just me being able to have that confidence in myself to just go out there and just play the ball that I know I'm capable of playing. Everyone wants to say that they had that confidence, but until you're really out there and performing the way that you want to perform, there's always not in the back of the head. So, once I was kind of able to brush that off my shoulders and just get rolling and play the football that I wanted to play, I think it was just I had to get that off my back, and I was rolling from there.
How did a kid from Phoenix wind up in North Dakota State? Or from Tampa? I mean, you played your high school. You're born in Phoenix. You played high school in Tampa. How did you wind up in North Dakota State, Christian?
So that was my only offer coming out of high school. I was under recruited. I was undersized. Throughout the majority of my high school career. I was a late bloomer. I think I shot up 4 or 5 inches and 30, 40 pounds going into my senior year. I was kind of overlooked up until that point, and in North Dakota State just kind of put their trust in me, and that ended up being my only offer. So I committed and just let the stones lay as they may. I just made the most of the opportunity.
Hold on a second. That's a word I've never heard associated with you as undersized, Christian. So what were you as a junior in high school? Honestly, give me your height weight. What do you got?
Yeah. My junior season, I was around 5'9", 5'10", 145 pounds.
What?
Yeah, and then going into my senior year, I was around 6'2" or 6'3", 175, 180 pounds.
Oh my gosh! So you had to get new clothes and everything. I mean, that's unbelievable. Because right now, I mean, you look like a grown ass man when standing in the end zone. Christian, I'm not going to lie.
I shot up out of nowhere, and then honestly, I kept on growing up. Because I went to college at 6'2.5", 6'3", and right. I kept growing to 6'4", 6'4.5" that I am now, and obviously put on a lot of weight, filled out a little bit more. It came in late, but obviously it all came to what it is today.
So then how do you keep it all? Christian Watson here on the Rich Eisen Show. This is amazing. I honestly, did not know this about you, that you had a growth spurt and then you go to North Dakota State. Obviously, you won championships there with Trey Lance, who I'd love to talk with you about in a moment. And then you wind up at Lambeau Field. Davante Adams is gone. You got the pressure of being the second round draft choice that you need to come in right away with Aaron Rodgers. You're standing there with Aaron Rodgers, of all people, at Lambeau Field. And then was your head spinning last year, Christian, to be very honest? Was your head spinning?
I think the whole process in general is just a lot to take on. Obviously it's the dream come true that, every football player, wants, but obviously, it's definitely a lot. Starting from, the day that you're done with your college career, and then, you're training for, an all-star game. If you had that, for me, it was the Senior Bowl. Then, going straight to training for the combine, and combine to visits, and then visits to the draft, and then obviously, right out to OTAs. So, I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot, but I mean, it's exactly what I wanted to be doing. So, I mean, I just kind of, took it head on and, just did everything I could to be the best possible player I could be.
Well, then, and obviously now year two, and there appears to be a question as to who your week one quarterback is going to be. Training camp, it does appear to be looking like Jordan Love. So what is your relationship? How much time have you had with Jordan Love as you and I are conversing with each other in March, Christian?
I mean, obviously, 12 being the starting quarterback last year, it would seem like, we wouldn't have gotten a lot of time with Jordan, but I spent a lot of time with Jordan Love, actually, whether it was, meetings outside of meetings and practice and stuff, just to kind of, get that playbook down and, get a quarterback's, thought process on what's going on, outside of, just, getting reps in with 12. We us younger guys had, meetings with Jordan Love, pretty much weekly going into the later weeks of the season. And just getting in some of the younger guy stuff. I mean, we had quite a bit of younger guy developmental stuff that we did early in the season. So, got reps in with him, and I think that relationship and that connection is strong already.
And have you spoken to Jordan lately, Christian? Have you spoken?
I have, yeah.
What's going through his mind that you're willing to share with me?
I mean, I haven't tried to pick his brain too much. I know with the uncertainty of things. The uncertainty that has been around this whole thing. I haven't tried to cloud his mind anymore. I just kind of reached out to him, see how he's doing his off season, and see if he wants to get some workouts in, whatever the case may be. So we probably going to go ahead and do that. But I think he's good. I think that he's been preparing himself these past couple years for whenever his moment, whenever his time to shine is, and I think he's in a good mental space.
And when was the last time you spoke to Rodgers, Christian?
Probably around that same time, probably like a week or two ago.
Okay.
Just kind of talking to him about off-season stuff. What can I do to get better? What did he see from me last year that I needed to do to improve? Just kind of stuff like that.
And how has he helped in that regard? Not just in the last 2 weeks, whenever you had that conversation, but overall, how would you say Rodgers has helped you come along as a wide receiver in this league, Christian?
Honestly, a ton. I couldn't be more thankful for the opportunity to play with him. My rookie season, is to be able to pick his brain. My number one goal going into last year was just to pick the veterans' minds as much as possible. Because obviously you never know when those guys are going to be done, or never know when they're going to be gone. So I just try to learn as much as possible from him. Was one of my number one goals, and I think I did that. Whenever I had a question, whenever I had just something shoot into my mind, even if it seemed like a dumb question, he was always open to answering that for me and just giving his mindset on that. So I think he helped me develop a lot, and I think that he helped me gain that confidence that I gained later in the year, just with his confidence in me.
And what's your sense? What's your best guess? Is it going to be Love or Rodgers? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I'll just do it if you don't mind. What's your best sense of it? I know you're just a second-year receiver trying to get better in the league after having a terrific first campaign. What's your sense of it, Christian?
For me, it's just I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but for me, it's just my number one thing, and this offseason has been to try to focus as much as possible on myself and just kind of let all the outside noise just be outside noise. I haven't tried to put too much thought into it. It's above my pay grade. It's not what I need to be focusing on. So I haven't tried to put too much thought into it. Whoever's there when I get back to the facility it is what it is. So
then, before I let you go, then let's talk about your college quarterback in Trey Lance, and knowing what you've seen out of this league, and knowing what it takes to be a quarterback in this league, and knowing that he hasn't had much of an opportunity because of injury in last year and then the year before, obviously just being a rookie. How do you think he would fare if he's the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, Christian?
I got 100% confidence in Trey, not just because, I played with him, but, I would say because I played with him, I know the type of man he is, the type of player he is, and, what he's capable of. I think that, all he needs is what you said, just the opportunity for him. He needs that experience. He needs to just go out there and just, be given that time to adjust to the league and what it takes. I think that he has everything that it takes. He just needs to go out there and show everybody. Yeah,
we met him in face-to-face at the Super Bowl, and he said he's open to having a competition with Brock Purdy and with whoever would be there, that he doesn't want the job given to him. And that kind of went viral. A lot of folks were kind of surprised to hear that from a third overall pick. And I'm wondering what you think of when you hear that Lance said that, Christian.
For me, I love it. I love the competitiveness. For me, I think that's the mindset I'll have going in every single year. Whether I'm a second year guy, a first year guy, or a season better. And what builds people up the most in this league is the competition and being open to that competition. Contentness isn't really going to get you anywhere in this league. If you're happy where you're at, then you're not. I personally believe you're not going anywhere. So. I think that, that competitiveness is what's going to drive him and turn him into the player that I know he's capable of being.
You got a good story about when you realized he had an it factor, Christian? You got a good Trey Lance story for me on that front from back in college? Was it in a huddle, in a game, in any moment? Was it in a practice where you're like, okay.
Honestly, for me, he was a year younger than me, so he came in the year after me. So he came in. And you know, for me, honestly, he was the same Trey Lance that he was when he was leaving, as you know, he was when he stepped on campus. You know, obviously he was younger, inexperienced at that point, and you know, so was I. You know, being a second year, you know, sophomore in college. But I mean, he still had that dog. He had that grit and that grind.
Yeah.
For the moment he stepped on there, you know, starting out on scout team, just seeing him, you know, perform like you know better than the quarterbacks that we were facing week in and week out. So, you know, I saw from the moment he stepped on campus that you know he had something about him.
Last one for you, Christian Watson. What do you? And again, I know I'm asking somebody who's entering year 2 of a season, of a career in the NFL, this question. But, you know, there's a lot of Packers fans who might be concerned. Rodgers gone, Love comes in. How good can the Packers be? The offense will have to start from scratch or anything along. What do you say to fans in Green Bay who might be concerned about that? Certainly, since you would have a lot of hope placed within you, having seen what you have been able to do after just 1 year in the NFL. What do you tell Packers Cheesehead Nation right now, Christian?
I mean, for me, it's really just, you know, regardless of, you know, how the situation pans out, you know, I think that we can be as good as we want to be. I mean, it's all just going to come down to, you know, every single player, you know, being 100% bought into, you know, getting better and you know, coming together as a team. But, you know, I have no worries going into this next year, regardless of what the situation may be. You know, whoever it is, you know, running the helm. You know, I know that, you know, we have a lot of talented guys and a lot of guys who can make some plays and make some stuff happen. So, you know, we can be as good as we want to be. We're just going to have to, you know, put in that work and, you know, come together as a squad.
Christian, thanks for the time. Greatly appreciate it. Let's do this more often. Congrats on your first year in the league, being as successful as it was. And let's do this again, certainly when we have a little bit more clarity in your neighborhood.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate it as well.
You got it. That's Christian Watson here on the Rich Eisen Show. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.